We're here in Ojai, California, and I'm super excited. We're going to be meeting my childhood hero and longtime idol, Sergio Aragonés, the great cartoonist. It's been 23 years since I met him, and he pretty much changed my life, so I could not be more excited right now.
¿Qué pasó?
Sergio.
Ay, Sergio.
Gracias.
¿La familia?
Muy bien, mi papá te manda
tal?
muchísimos
Sí,
saludos.
hombre.
This is the man, the legend. I'm
Did
so
Sandra
excited.
came, or?
No, she's with a baby. But she sends hugs and kisses and oh. Sergio, so I'm going to tell you how I first saw your work. When I was, I think, 10 years old, and we moved from Mexico City to Tijuana. For the first time, I found Man magazines because I'd never seen them in Mexico, and I didn't speak English very well. And I remember my mom bought it for me, and she sort of said, you know, this is really good because you like drawings, you can practice your English. So that was sort of my mom's reason for getting me the magazine. And I remember opening it, and I didn't understand anything. I love the artwork. And then I saw your work on the sides. And I remember thinking, like, this is genius, because it doesn't need any words. I don't have to learn English to get all these amazing, beautiful drawings and jokes. And I kind of just became obsessed with getting Man magazines just for your stuff.
Well, it's very curious because when it came out in Mexico, I was in high school and I couldn't understand it either because I didn't speak anything of English. And I will go after the guys for them to translate the things because I love the drawings, but I couldn't understand anything. And they would run away from me because, oh, there comes Sergio with a Mad magazine, because they knew I got them there to translate, and they couldn't because it was a kind of complicated English. It's not school English.
Yeah.
But the same thing, I was fascinated by the drawings, you know, Don Martin and Bob Clark and all the guys. I would just keep for hours looking at it, and that's what really motivated me to come to the States. So.
Well, and so as time went by, I found Gru, your comic book, Gru the Wanderer, and immediately I became obsessed with it, and I started, saving all my allowances to buy them. I was reading one of them, and I would obviously look at your drawings and then try to copy them. You know, at that point, you were the fact that your name was Sergio Aragonés to me was like, that's someone like me. There was not a lot of Mexican cartoonists, especially in the U.S. So I started copying your drawings. I was really, really into it, and my father walked in and saw me drawing this. And he kind of gave me this look of like, I'm gonna humor you to see what you're up to. So he sat down and he picked up your comic book. And I still remember it's Gru issue 50. And he said, Sergio Aragonés, Gru the Wanderer. I know this man. And I did not believe him. You know, I am still recovering from Santa Claus and all these things that, everything that he said that hasn't been true. So I don't believe him. And he says, you know, Sergio went to university for architecture, and that was the biggest lie in the universe to me. I said, Papa, this is a world-renowned cartoonist. There's no way he went to architecture school. And he said, no, I went to school with him. And that seemed like the biggest lie in the universe. So he said, Jorge, since it's clear you don't believe me, and you'll only believe me if you see it, I'm gonna take you to meet Sergio Aragonés, and he will tell you how important it is to go to school. And I was like, come on, Dad. So my dad finds out about Comic-Con in San Diego, and sure enough, we get up really early in the morning, and then on a Sunday, we're crossing the border from Tijuana to San Diego, and the whole way there, I'm really nervous because I think this is a big lie, and I'm kind of embarrassed for my dad. I'm like, I can't believe he's doing all this just to make his point. So we get to San Diego, we park, we go into the Comic-Con, and this is the first time I've ever been in a Comic-Con, or my father, and you know, there's people dressed in costumes and really dirty looking people. It's super crazy. And my father's an architect, right? So he's kind of like he's looking around, and he's going like, this is what you want to do? Like, this is the world you want to enter? And I'm like, Papa, these are my people. So we go into the Comic-Con, and literally he just asked like, I'm here to see Sergio Aragonés, and they're like, oh, Sergio's signing over there. So we go to your booth, and there's a giant line of people on Sunday, because I think it's Family Day. So there's tons of kids, tons of families, and we get in line, and we're waiting, and my dad looks really serious. Like, we're there to see the Pope. Like, this is pilgrimage. And I don't know how it happened, or the way I remember it, you looked up, and he saw you, and you saw him. My dad said, Sergio, and then you stood up and you said, Jorge. And at that moment, my brain exploded, like, the world turned. Every single thing I didn't believe my father, I thought, like, maybe they're all true. Maybe everything is true. And you guys hugged, and you said, like, to the line, you said, like, hey, can you give me a minute? And we went behind your booth, and you sat down, and you guys talked a little bit about school. And then my father said, Sergio, tell him, all this is in Spanish, Sergio, tell him how important it is to go to school. And you sat me down and like you looked me in the eye. You said, I studied architecture, your father's right. If you want to do cartoons, it's a very hard career. It's not something that's easy. And look at this place. It's full of people who want to be cartoonists. And the biggest difference between them and someone who succeeds or someone who's succeeding here is hard work, school, and even more hard work.
It's education.
Yeah.
What happens sometimes is when you start in any field, like we're talking cartooning, you start very young and the only thing you do is cartoons. You talk cartoons, you meet cartoonists, and there's nothing wrong with that, but there's a whole universe that you can apply to your work. Mm-hmm. So when you get an education, you go to college, you meet people who are interested in other things. Mm-hmm. You can continue becoming a cartoonist, but all the other influences that you meet in college, politically, artistically, you start about the cine club, and you expand your mind.
Right?
Oh yeah, you expand your mind to such extent that when you're doing your cartoonist, you have more material to take from, and you just don't become a worker that sits there and inks somebody else's work. Because now you can create, you have a whole complete education. So your dad was right. So it was my dad. My dad, same thing. He wanted me to go to college. And I wanted to be a cartoonist. I didn't want to go to college. But one of the things I will always thank him is because of the fact that he forced me to go to college. And I did, and I learned a lot. So to me, it was very, very, very important.
A membership to lynda.com unlocks this entire course and hundreds of others. Visit lynda.com to learn more.